Okay, in this video, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to use Google Forms. Specifically, we're going to look at how to use Google Forms to create a survey. Now, this is a powerful tool that I personally use when I need to collect data and information from you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do that, and to do it, obviously we have to get into Google Forms. You guys could go directly to Google Forms or just search on Google. And you should see a screen that possibly looks like this. It might ask you guys to log in first. If it does, go ahead and log in with your school account. And once we're on the main page, you'll see a list of different templates you could use. I have some of my forms I've been using as well. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and just create a blank form, a blank survey. Once we hit new survey or new form, we'll be able to get started from there. And there's a lot of things that we need to do to get started. The first thing is we need to title our form. I'm just going to go ahead and type for the title, I'm just going to go ahead and put test survey. For you guys obviously need to be a little bit more specific as to what you want to title the survey. If you want to put in a little description so that the audience has an idea what this form is about, go ahead and do so. I'm going to go ahead and just say something like, this is a test survey to help us understand how to use Google Forms. Okay. From here, there's a couple different things we could look at. The first is they already have a question set up. Now this is really interesting. Once you click on the question, you see, notice how it changes the formatting when I click on the question. There's an untitled question. I'm going to teach you guys how to make or design two different questions. The first one is a little easier. The first type of question is a categorical, meaning, let's see, so what if I just want to ask what type of pet, perhaps maybe what is your favorite animal? And from here I could have the audience respond in different ways. I could have a multiple choice where I list the different options. I could have a drop down menu. And there are a couple different options, short answer, paragraph. In the first one, let's go ahead and just decide between multiple choice and drop down. We can have check boxes as well, so let's actually give the options so you guys can see the difference. Let's go and just list cat, dog, parrot, fish, and we can even say other. Okay. So again, it could be a multiple choice where they could choose between cat, dog, parrot, fish, other. We could change it to a drop down, and in the drop down menu they'll essentially be able, so right here is a drop down menu, they'll be able to click on the menu and choose between cat, dog, parrot, fish, or other. You could do a checkbox, but this won't really work for our situation or what we want to do today. So we do want to choose between multiple choice or drop down. I'm gonna go ahead and just choose drop down. This is going to be the first question. This is a categorical question where you choose different selections. We'll be able to choose different selections. You could require them or not require them to answer it. For our purposes and for your purposes, you're going to want them to. You're going to want the question to be required. Otherwise, people have the option of not answering. We're going to go ahead, if we want to make this fancy, add a video. Add more descriptions and stuff, we can. I'm gonna keep it very simple, and I'm just gonna go ahead and add another question. This question is going to be a value answer. I'm gonna look for a value, meaning I'm gonna expect the viewer, the audience, to give me a value or a number answer. And so I don't want it to be multiple choice. I don't want a selection. I'm gonna go ahead and actually choose short answer. I could do linear scale, that gets a little complicated, so I'm again, to make it simple, I'm going to choose short answer. Now let's think, what type of questions should I expect a value answer? maybe I could say, how many times a day do you feed your pet? Okay, so this answer obviously should be a value. So now you're saying, well, what if they just type a word, or what if they're not answering faithfully? Well, to require them to answer as a number or a value, I'm going to click the dotted settings button here. I'm going to go ahead and click on response validation, and you see this little menu drop down. So let me kind of get back to it. We click here on the 3 dotted buttons and we click response validation. So I'm going to require it to be a number. I could set specific ideas. I'm just going to go ahead and say that it has to be a whole number. You don't have to. You could just say greater than. It could be a number greater than 0 if you want, or a number greater than 1. You could set it to be different types of things between a certain value, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. I'm going to set a whole number. I can't feed my bird half a time, so I'm going to require it to be a whole number answer. So this is essentially going to be it, and I'm going to ask you guys to go ahead and continue, and based on your surveys, based on your PBL questions you guys have started to develop that we'll continue to refine, you guys are going to go ahead and create at least 2 questions using Google Forms. One question needs to be a categorical, where you'll need to it'll need to be a multiple choice, checkbox, or drop down response. The other question, has to be a question where you set it to short answer, and then you go ahead and do a response validation and require it to be a whole number. Now, other things you might want to do is you might want to go ahead and title your form. Again, if you click on it, it'll automatically choose the title you have. It's just test survey. I could just change it. I could say test survey, Mr. Tran. Or obviously make it more specific towards whatever my topic is, so you guys need to make sure you title it. If you want to change different settings, such as changing colors and themes, you guys could choose a picture as a header, change the color layout. You could change the background colors, change the different fonts. Okay, and once you're satisfied with that, you could go ahead and hit preview. And this is what the survey is going to look like to those who are viewing or responding to your survey. Remember how this was a drop-down menu. So what is your favorite animal? Now I can only select between the options given to me. I could choose parrot, I could choose fish, I could choose dog. How many times do you feed your pet? Let's say I try to answer without a number. Remember how we required a number? Even if I type a word, let's say I type 9, I get an error saying must be a whole number. If I say 3.5 times or 3.5 times, again, I get the error saying it must be a whole numbers. Okay, so now I chose my favorite pet. I have a numerical response. I could go ahead and submit.